Good evening, PTX fam, and welcome to another community AMA. Today we have a crazy AMA with absolutely bullish news. If you haven't seen the chart already, over the last 24 or so hours, PTX is actually up around 81%. Now we're going to get into some of the questions we have in the chat. But first of all, let me talk to you guys why this is so good and what's been happening, and we'll go from there.
The good thing about this place is that we wanted the brutal, honest questions and answers, right? Now, thank God Ari wasn't online, because Ari would have had enough questions to fill the chat up for days. But there was a lot of good suggestions. There was a lot of good suggestions and a lot of back and forth conversation with a lot of good ideas. Now, that went on for about 3 or 4 days. I'm not going to say exactly what happened or what ideas were discussed because they haven't been implemented. But one good idea that we had was bringing a base PUSD set of rewards to PTX. Now, if you don't know what PUSD is, that's going to be our one-to-one BUSD backed stablecoin. Now, this is going to be built in similar fashion to Xsurge or MDB Plus if you aren't really aware of what it is. Now, this will be appreciating. The way that this stable coin will be sort of utilized is very, very simple, actually. So it will be used to purchase from profits from mints. It will be used to purchase profits from trading. And obviously, it will be distributed to holders for Xshares and also distributed to future vault holders as well. So we had the discussion of basically, okay, if we implement 6/12 months vault systems, how can we, sort of say, well, this is why you should lock, right? Because especially for a quote unquote rebase project, 6 to 12 months is an absurd amount of time. I mean, even 2 months is an absurd amount of time for a quote unquote rebase project, right? So we've obviously come up with this idea of implementing a base standard of a 0.5% return from PUSD rewards in a vault. Now, I obviously don't want to use the word guarantee. However, if you are to sort of lock your tokens for a year and everything went smooth, so we had no problems, PTX was still running, the bots are still making money, everything smooth as possible. In a year, you'd make 186.4% on return just on a flat PUSD rewards. So if you deposited $10,000 worth, then you'd earn around I think it was $18,600 within that year just in PUSD rewards. Now that doesn't include your PTX. I don't want anyone to get confused. We're not removing PTX rewards. We wouldn't do that. We'll still be having vaults with the SEM model. Everything we run in as planned. So we're currently waiting to sort of finalize that. We did discuss some numbers. We crunched numbers and we had some really, really good ones. However, we didn't want to implement them just too fast. What we didn't want to do is rush. And this sort of goes along the same lines as implementing the LMS that we originally was going to implement. So at the current time, so we're looking at, what are we today? The 17th of October. Since we first launched about a month and a half ago, if we're talking about V1 PTX, 5 or so of our partners who actually introduced the LMS system tanked. Now, the reason why they tanked is due to unstable LMS emissions. And once these emissions sort of got too much, eventually the project ran out of money. So that was one of the reasons why we never implemented it. And we did say in a couple of AMAs is that one reason why we're not implementing it is because everyone other than Horde sort of capsizes and dies, right? And it was to my knowledge that, Horde had to put some emergency taxes and emission capping in place with regards to rewards to stop their LMS being drained. So it just goes to show is that even the best projects, the best LMS project, in my book, I'd say Horde is, king of LMS projects, right? Even the best LMS projects are still struggling. So I'm really, really glad we didn't implement and rush the LMS system. It's still something we can think about in the future, but just something we're not going to implement at the minute. I think they're very unstable. The risk to reward is not there. I mean, if 99% of the projects are dying and 1% are surviving, then it doesn't sound like a good calculated risk. Shib, an update on the trading bots. I haven't got a exact update. I know they've been doing all right. We haven't had any crazy wins, not that I know of, unless Shib hasn't checked. But if you're not aware, Shib is currently out of town at the minute. He will be back shortly, but he hasn't got access to his laptop. But he's still getting updates on the trading bots. I just haven't had time to catch him today to get an answer for that. So, a bit of alpha is, I believe, CMC is ready to go. Now, I don't know when. Please don't message me. You wouldn't believe how many people spam me and asking me 4 or 5, 6 times a day when CMC. If I knew, honestly, I'd be buying straight before it. Now, CMC is coming very, very soon. We've got the confirmation. You know what, Sunny Sage? You know what? I've had enough of you today, mate. I'm joking. CMC is coming. We had the confirmation. We sent out the tweet. That's pretty much the final stage. Now the ball's in their court. In my history regarding, Shib, was Shib in the AMA? Sorry, no, he's just copying people. He's just copying people in chat. I thought he was just sitting here listening. I was like, jump on stage. What are you doing, lad? So basically, bots that I use trade. Yeah, Austin, I'm aware of what bots. I think we've actually seen each other and spoke to each other a few times in a couple of bot chats. So it's good to see that they're still working for you. Sometimes, but if you're Austin, if you're in the AMA and you're having a listen now, you'd be the first one to say that not every week are these bots giving you 100% profit. I mean, sometimes you have to manual trade, close trades. They're not just a guaranteed landmine for making money. So yeah, sometimes they're really good. Exactly, 100%. You gotta watch them, and that's exactly what Shib does now. Sometimes they do make dumb trades. They're bots, they're AI, they're not perfect. Um, Sometimes they're long when they should really short. But it's all a learning curve, and all this technology is still new. And we're sort of glad to be at the core foundations of it, right? Now back to CMC quickly. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Ari, I will ban you. I will not hesitate. I will straight ban. Right. CMC is coming. It should be, from my history, they usually list really weirdly early UTC time. With the method that we use to get listed, usually them tokens, I've had about 6 or 7 in past experience. They all list weirdly about 5 or 6 a.m. my time. So UTC is usually weird times in the morning. Maybe that's sort of how it works. Yada yada, but we'll see. So what I'm hoping is we actually get a cascade effect, sort of similar to what happened today, in regards to the buying and the selling of PTX. Sorry, I was having a little look at the chart and I see someone purchased 4.8k or something along them lines. So if it was you, drop me a DM and we can have a chat regarding the deals we got going on. But that's something I'll speak about now, and we've actually been having some crazy success with them. I mean, it started off initially, we got a couple of buys, and then I think people saw the top whale buy, and it just sort of cascaded. A bunch of people bought. I mean, we've been on I'm gonna check now, but I think we still are. We've been on CoinGecko's top gainers for, we're currently 5th. We've been on top gainers for about 20 or so hours straight, which usually, tokens, they will go up X amount of percent and then they'll free fall because people just use it as exit liquidity. But we've had a few sales, don't get me wrong, but if you look at the day chart, I don't know if you guys are have seen the chart, or especially people like Austin. It's good to see you round. I haven't seen you in quite a while actually, so thank you for jumping in one of our AMAs. But I'm gonna pop it in main chat, the day chart, and that's currently our day chart. Now, the best thing about our day chart is we didn't release any information. I don't know what happened with you guys yesterday or what went on in the chat, but it was my day off. Now, if anyone doesn't know, I do take Sundays off. I think it's very, very important to spend time with family, especially on Sundays. Now, I'd say it was a really successful day off. Don't know what I did, but there was a lot of deals. Now, these deals you can find in general announcements. I did these completely on a whim, thinking, look, I'm going to put these out, no one's going to bite. Out of absolutely nowhere, everyone went, that's crazy. I'm going to get some of that. So we currently have some deals active and some events, and I'll go over them now, just if you are new here or not aware of what's going on. For the first event, we have a legendary Xshare event. There's currently 2 Xshares up for grabs, and $250 in PTX for third place, and the bonus Xshares $250 in PTX for first place. For second place, it's just a regular Xshare. I mean, legendary Xshare. So the way this competition works is essentially a $50 buy is 1 ticket, and it's a raffle style system. Now these go up in $50 increments. If you buy $1,000, you get 20 entries into the raffle. I'll be doing this on Wednesday. Now this was put into place for the smaller fish. People who, I know $50 is still a lot. I'm not, blind. However, we can't just give away things for nothing. Unfortunately, if I could do them for $5 each, then I would. However, because of the value in the future we're looking to bring to said products and BTX, it wouldn't be fair on pre-sale holders who purchased the maximum bag and have been holding, and people who have earned one. If I just, make them seem worthless, I can't do that. Now, another event we have going on is if you buy $5,000 of PTX today, you will receive a legendary Xshare. Now, I'm still doing it. It's working. We have a lot of legendary Xshares to give away. This isn't us selling it. All you have to do is invest in the project, buy $5,000 worth, hold until they're released, and you get a legendary Xshare airdropped. Now, we do have a couple of other things going on. I mean, there was one, buy $10,000 in PTX. We'll send you $1,000 in PTX for free and a legendary Xshare. Buy $4,000 and get $500 in PTX for free. And I know SFX Fox. If you don't know who SFX Fox is, he is one of our top wallets, our top whales, the King Alpha in the PTX space. He said that if there was a $4,500 buy, he'd give them $500 and a legendary Xshare. And I could see that there was actually one of them buys. So that's good. If it was you, drop me a DM, reach out so we can get this confirmed. And obviously, I can put you down for that airdrop. But these deals have been going on. I'm going to continue running them for the rest of the night until I'm asleep. Once I'm going to bed, we'll reassess. But I'll probably be up quite late tonight, purely because of the CMC, right? Like I said, sometimes they list at 5 o'clock in the morning, so best to be around. But guys, we've got to that sort of portion of the AMA where everyone's up to date. I mean, 38 people. It seems like we're coming back to life. I just want to say a massive thank you. It's been an insane 24 hours. My reactions to shit. If you guys could see, if staff chat got leaked, all I kept saying is, what the fuck is happening? I know I don't usually swear in the AMAs, but you guys did absolutely crazy. The entire community, and the best thing is that you guys didn't sit there and use it as an opportunity to dump on each other. You all supported each other. You all built up, and now we're in a really, really great position before CoinMarketCap, before trending, before any other market, and we've got planned to go, you know what, bam, here's an actually attractive chart. Now, I think it's the first time we've been over pre-sale. I mean, the thing is now, if everyone's in profit, if I'm wrong, correct me. But there was a gloomy time where everyone just kept going down. And before we move on to the questions, which please feel free to ask in main chat or AMA questions wherever. I'll keep an eye up. Can you extend the 5K buy event to the pre-sale buyers as well? Yeah, of course. Elder Boma, if you buy $5,000 now, it's for anyone. You don't have to be a fresh wallet. It's for anyone. If you're here, I would much rather an OG jump on it. It's the thing is we're just doing these deals, and it's not really something I see in crypto communities. The reason why I said, look, let's do these deals is because we had some legendary Xshare spare, and if you're willing to invest and help the project long term, and you say, look, I'm gonna hold until they're released anyways, then you're helping us, let me help you, sort of thing. If you can be in a position where you take the project and you turn it from a negative sentiment, which if you look at the chart yesterday, that wasn't bullish, but if you look at the chart today, you start seeing a bullish sentiment. Now, if you can be one of the people that took us out of the mud, then you deserve a legendary Xshare. So I want you guys to sort of see the sort of mindset that we're going from, right? It's not just, okay, let's bribe them with Xshares. It's not that at all. But if you're going to be one of the people that buy and hold and take us out of the mud, then you deserve one, right? Let's be completely honest here. And a lot of the OGs and a lot of people that have actually bought and won the Xshares were the OGs, were the people who were here from pre-sale, were the ones that have stuck around when the price was in the mud, So yeah, LD, you can, if you purchase $5,000 right now, you'll get a lot of excitement in main chat. You get a kiss from Adam, and I'll ban Ari. So that's an additional bonus for you.
Thank you.
Ari gets
I have
banned.
been discriminated again.
Ari gets banned. Adam gives you a kiss. And we
Shake
go
that,
from there. But yeah, no, I'm just joking. But yeah, no, it's for everyone. LD, feel free. Isn't Brian expecting something at home? What do you mean, Paul? Hold on, Paul. I believe tonight, actually, guys, a bit of news, bit of marketing. Two of my favorite YouTubers at this current time, Confirm and RM, who does the TA. I told him, I messaged him, I said, listen, Confirm him. TA now. I mean, price up. I mean, I don't know what you can really say. The price is up 120%. But, if you can say something about price, then say something because it's up for once. So there's a video coming from Confirmant, and I messaged Paul. I said, Paul, I've got another gift for you. Your videos are amazing. So we got another video coming out from Paul as well. And anyone else, you guys, there's a couple of influencers in here today. If you're interested in doing a video on PTX, we highly appreciate it. And we don't sit there begging the influencers to do videos, but we do try to look after them at when we can, like we did today. So yeah, thank you to them guys. They've made a lot of videos in the past supporting PTX, so it'd be nice for them to be able to make an update video today when the price isn't in the mud, and they're able to sit there and say, hey, they finally come back, the rebranding, the CG, and it's all a cascade effect, guys.
Yeah.
And I've said this. Yeah, like everyone can, if you turned up to any of the AMAs we had, right, it's all a cascade effect. Everything is smoke and mirrors. It doesn't matter. We are in the same position, exact same position we was 1 week ago. The difference is now we've got double the amount of people in the AMA. We've got double the bullishness in the community. We've got double, everyone's excited now. There's people in the AMA, the whales that have thought they're going to write this as a loss off, now here saying, okay, well, we're onto something here. Because of that little bit of, momentum, the little switch, the CoinGecko came. So now everyone's like, okay, now we're starting to pick up. And that's sort of what I tried to explain before, is that all it takes is a little switch of the tide. Now, don't get me wrong, someone could sell now, the price go down. But the thing is that now people have seen that the price can go up for PTX. It's completely changed everything. And that's just my opinion, not financial advice. But I feel like now people have gone, you know what? PTX isn't going down anymore. I don't know what's happened. I mean, one of my friends, Cookie, if you guys don't know, he was at my house yesterday. while things were pumping, and he looked at me. He goes, "This is a first, Brandon." He goes, "PTX is going up in price." I went, "Sean, I don't know what's happening either." But yeah, it is, and it was nice to see. You know, it is our first official, quote unquote pump. We never really had a pump before. We had a couple of days where we had buys, but I would say that was our first pump, and to hit over 120% was insane. So I hope that the community, is back in high spirits. We don't want anyone being in losses. We hope everyone is good. Hope everyone is now excited. There's less, worry in the community.
Yeah, talking about YouTubers, we had Austin Clark popped in the chat earlier, and I think you want to join the AMA.
Austin, if you want to hop up on the AMA, yeah, let me bring you up. Give me 1 moment.
Yeah,
I go and live on the stage.
Yeah.
Hey, Bram, I did have something that I wanted to bring up that I thought maybe some investors may feel is that during the pre-sale, there's the idea that if you put in 15 grand USD, basically maxed out a pre-sale buy wall, then you get a legendary NFT.
Yes.
However, right now you're saying also if you invested a third of that, then you'll get the same reward.
Yes. No, I have a good answer for that, Harry. And I knew that question was going to come up. Right. So we can sit here in a situation saying yes, at the start there was a $15,000 requirement for the NFT. You're still getting your NFT no matter what happens, right? Now, if we talk about yesterday when the first two people did it, the same people who are buying the $5,000 quote unquote worth now would have to have bought in token value $10,000 worth yesterday. So yes, a couple of people are getting them for cheaper, but we've also gone up in price over 120%. If we didn't introduce a couple of incentives and people, I mean, I just had someone message me. I found out just now who it was who bought the $4,500. Himself, he's bought two today. Now, I understand it's cheap. However, it's worked. Now, we can sit here and go, oh, I had to pay this much and someone paid this much. There's 100. If you've got one, no one's going to be able to get them again. We're not going to do this forever. We're just doing this until CMC comes to change the tide. Now, I completely understand I had to pay $15,000 for my legendary Xshare. Someone has to pay. The difference is you guys in pre-sale are now in profit. Thank God. I'm not gonna sit here and say that that's forever, but pre-salers are in profit, right? Now the people buying today, they've bought with the buy tax. They're not in profit yet. They've taken the risk. They've picked the chart up from zero to high. But you guys are still there. We're not forgetting about you. We're still going to bring in some rewards for pre-sale holders. I mean, I'm excited to see how many max wallets actually have held from the start. And I'll talk to Shiv about bonuses and extras once Xshares come around 100%. But if we're looking at this current time, and I've actually been discussing with this is where the Lab Rats group is important, right? I've been discussing with SFX Fox, who's who is our top holder. And yes, we can sit there and say, well, people are investing $5,000 now to get a legendary Xshare, but you can get another one. You can buy another one. It's completely fine. I mean, the difference is we've got to speak realistic here, right? And I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. If we go, okay, so when we first launched and you bought a pre-sale bag and the legendary NFTs were introduced, we didn't have 30 days of negative sell pressure. Now, today, we've implemented a few incentives and a few buys, and not only have we gone to a place where all of the pre-salers are now in profit, we've got to a place where the project is no longer dying. Now, even if we take a little tumble now and we drop in price again, so what? We've done it before, we can get up, and that's the Mambo mentality that will sort of come from this, is that before, it was just sales. The price just went down. So no one sat there and thought, oh, that it's going to recover. No worries, buy the dip. But now that people have seen what we can do as a community, people aren't going to sit there and not buy the dip anymore because it's not just going down anymore. So us doing these few incentives, Harry, and these little, bonuses and changing the sentiment of the community. Yes, some people got cheaper X shares. However, they've still got to hold until X shares are launched, which yes is less time technically than the pre-sale bags. But you can get another one if you want to. If you want to top up your bag, you're more than welcome to get one. It's just it was a whim, really, Ari. If I'm honest with you, I didn't expect for so many people to latch on to it. And while it was working, and essentially we fixed sort of a lot of, a month of damage. Realistically, a month of damage was fixed. I thought, let's give a couple more. I mean, we've still got 80 to give away. Realistically, there's going to be people that get them for free. There's going to be people that pay more for them. There's going to be people that get them for less. It's all about the time and doing what's right for the community. And in my personal opinion, as a community manager, I thought utilizing some of the spare ones that we've got to help price action without having to waste money was sort of a perfect time, in my opinion. I hope that sort of answered your question. But yeah, let's have a little look to see what other questions we've got. Austin, how are you doing? Lovely to have you on stage.
Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, can you hear me good? I'm on a road trip, so I may be cutting in and out sometimes.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, no, thank you for coming. It's a shame you haven't managed to catch Shib today. Usually Shib is around in these AMAs. He himself is doing a long drive today. So it's a shame that you haven't been able to catch him. But how have you been, Austin? I know I've seen you floating around in some of the chats. And yeah, we don't usually say any bot names here, purely because we don't want people uneducatedly investing into these bots. So we tend to just not say any bot names just in case you've blurred somehow.
Oh yeah, my bad.
No, that's fine. No,
Yeah,
it's fine. The reason why I say is because, and I'm glad you're actually here, Austin, is because if I don't know if it was you as well, or if you've had these on, sometimes they can be very unreliable. There's been a few times where Shib has had to manual trade to recover price, or has had to manual trade to sort of make profit. Now, these bots, and the thing I want to touch base with everyone on is these bots. Then they're not just guaranteed money, right? You can't just chuck X amount of money in and make a bunch of money, right? Sadly, it's not how it works, and Austin could probably confirm that for me. But Austin, how have you been? I haven't seen you around in the community before, maybe early days. But what brings you around the neighborhood today?
yeah, man. And yeah, I can definitely attest to bots. I was saying in the chats earlier, I'm using a ton of bots, and I got a couple really in-depth videos on different types. Both of them are going to capture two different aspects. I really want to highlight on the use of bots because I feel like some people they use bots either the wrong way or they just don't know really what they really provide. So it's going to be a really good video. But yeah. So I think I forgot who it was. Someone tagged me on Twitter, talking to me about the price. And I think one cool thing that I've really been trying to do, and I think a lot of people appreciate, is while we do like the hype and stuff, it feels really good. I try to be the balance because man, I've been in DeFi now for a decent amount of time, and it's like I've learned a lot, and I think I try to use my wisdom to help people kind of stay balanced, right? And they were like, "Yeah, check out the project, look at the price," and I was I said to them, and I was like, "Hey, just to make sure you realize, while this pumping stuff is great and everything, usually what happens on the other side of a pump is a lot of realized gains. So you can't really just look at a big green candle and think that it's just going to keep going in one direction." And then I came into the chat and they told me to ask some questions that I was asking in the main chat to you, and she did. And I was kind of trying to learn about Protocol X and what makes the actual native token PTX unique. And I guess I'm still a little confused on why there's a token in general rather than just using something like VUSD to help with revenue share. If you could kind of elaborate on, what makes PTX really needed in the protocol altogether.
Of course. Thank you for the question, Austin. No, I completely understand that. Now, when PTX first launched, we were quote unquote just another rebase token, right? So the basis of the contract, it wasn't a full contract. However, it had a special model in it, right? Now, this model is an SEM model. So essentially, what we were was the first rebase project that will be supported by trading bot revenue. We were going to implement an LMS. However, after recent um, projects, we decided against an LMS for the time being until maybe we can see some more solid foundations and history regarding them. But in the core foundations, we launched and we had the model of what can we do that other projects didn't do. We launched with a contract of Titan in mind. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, Titan Orbital Swap. So the contract foundations were based off Titan. We were actually quite big, fans of Titan at the start. Titan was a really, really good project for myself. I was really bullish on that project. Myself, CK, Adam, Shib, majority of the team, we were actually invested in there. A couple of $1,000, some $30,000, $40,000. Now, over time, we started getting a bit skeptical about some things that were happening, right? Some transactions, some shady seed investment wallets, and we pulled up some of these, and we were basically ignored, right? So once we started getting ignored, and we was like, look, something's fishy's going on here, we exited the project and said, look, we're gonna do our own project that isn't a load of crap, if I'm honest with you. So it wasn't the first time we was in a rebase project. If you know me, I work for many rebase projects, mainly one, Seifu. I'm a moderator over there. And it was just sort of like, look, what can we do? We're not going to sit there and try bully our way into pole position, but what can we do to take that rebase model and try and make it sustainable, right? So one thing we implemented was an SEM model where every month the APR depletes 10%. Now, obviously, over time, this would have had a cascade effect and eventually it would have slowed down emissions dramatically whilst also funding external buy and burns. So what originally happened, Austin, was we had everything was fine, everything was laid out, we had all the plans on V1, and that's why you'll probably see that we don't have much chart history. But the price kept going down. We applied for CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap. They made us wait a week or two. So while I was in Lou, people were selling, obviously. The community, it wasn't great. Everyone just kept asking when CMC. And what happened is CoinMarketCap pretty much got back to us and said we're no longer listing rebase tokens, so you're completely banned unless you completely change your contract. You're not getting accepted. So I said, bet. Messaged the team at Diapt and was like, guys, we've got this problem. The same night they said, bam, let's build this contract. So now we've got this new contract. Now the new contract is completely different to any other auto compounding project you'll see. This contract at core is not a rebase project. So yes, the tokens will mint, but these only mint based on PTX emissions. There's no contract function for an owner to mint tokens. This is all generalized and all based within the contract. Now, once you stake your PTX, Austin, you will be enhancing it. The reason why we call it enhancement is because we have other aspects of the ecosystem. I'll touch base on them later, but I'll go in order so you don't get confused. So once you enhance your PTX, you'll earn daily PTX rewards at 1.77% compounded, right? Basics. Now, why is it called enhanced PTX and not staked PTX? Why are you being a bit extra? It's very simple, actually. So enhanced PTX, which is essentially our staked PTX token, won't just be a staking token. So enhanced PTX will be used to fund certain aspects in the ecosystem, whether it be burning it for X keys, which will be used to upgrade your Xshares. Now, I'll touch base on Xshares quickly. Xshares will be our revenue share system NFTs. These will essentially work in a way where rewards are distributed to holders, whether through investments on trading bots, whether it is in higher risk aspects. I could talk about projects such as Stable Fund. I'm not sure if you heard of them. Whether it's investments in X, Y, and Z, these will also be returned to the holders. Not only are we going to bridge holder returns based from external investments, we're also going to sort of reach out towards a gamify aspect as well, whether that's through sports betting or whatnot, or generalized betting, and also through a hopeful game, which I'm currently in the process of planning for as well. Now, we all know P2Earn isn't great if it's a core foundation, but if it could be something in the background that doesn't take too much of our brain material, then it's something we can implement, right? So in the very short term, Austin, we're looking at implementing vaults. Now, these vaults aren't compulsory. However, said vaults will be changing where there'll be an aspect of a base PUSD reward. So PUSD, as I mentioned, is similar to, I don't know if you've heard of it, Xsurge, MDB Plus. Essentially, the long story short, MDB we were partners with, and we were going to use that as sub liquidity on our decks. However, the CEO got immature and pissy that we didn't put our entirety of our liquidity in MDB Plus. So we reached out to the developer who made MDB Plus, realized it was just a fork of Xsurge, which I've known about for 12 months, and said to Mark, let's get some PUSD. So essentially, the PUSD will be used. It'll be purchased and it'll be backed with BUSD, right? So I'm sure you're aware of how these arithmetic stable coins work that quote unquote only go up in price, right? The reason that will be used in the ecosystem is because that's what will be distributed to people in the vaults. We're looking at introducing a base PUSD reward in said vaults for people to earn, which will be great regardless. You'll also earn your PTX as standard. However, if we can say to people, look, I know vaulting for 6 or 12 months is risky, but we can guarantee X amount of dollar in PUSD, which can be sold backed 1-to-1 for BUSD, then I think we'll have a lot more success on the vaults. Plus, it's extra rewards for the diamond hands, which is great. Now, these will be implemented in the upcoming weeks. We got hit with CoinGecko, and then the tide started turning, so we didn't want to implement these dramatic changes and cause a cascade effect or any negative effect on the chart. But yes, they do call me Bramble, so please feel free to cut in and tell me to shut up at any point.
No, I appreciate that. So with what you have going on right now versus inflow and outflow of revenue, with the PTX token, how like, I guess if you could put a rough percentage on it, because obviously I know you don't try and have like the numbers right there in front of you, but roughly what percentage is outside revenue feeding the rewards versus just the taxes alone?
So it's not live yet. So in regards to taxes, every sell tax is a 4% tax that go to quote unquote X shares. We're going to discuss the possibility of switching this into investment overall, so we can essentially have one pool where people are rewarded from. Now, the external revenue, I mean, to put it in comparison, Austin, our team salaries and everything, you can actually see our financial stuff in the Discord chat. Have a look out for monthly reports or financial reports. We actually disclose everything, which is another cool thing that I think is beneficial for the community. Now, in regards to how much is outside, right? So we currently have around $50,000 in BUSD in the treasury. We have about $135,000 or $140,000 into investment funds, and we've also, Austin, this is the best part, have everything on our roadmap paid for already. Now, I think that's a very important part, which I love to mention, because unless we introduce something new, such as, the new vault, which we're going to have to pay for, but unless we introduce something new, the PUSD is already audited. That's ready to go. We're just not diluting. So I'll put it in perspective, Austin. So the Xshares, the contracts, they're all ready to go. The design all ready to go. The UI is currently being finalized. PUSD all ready to go. X Lottery, which is a proxy-based lottery system, which isn't just a generic PCS fork, that's ready to go. X swap contracts, they're ready to go. And all have been audited by Solid Proof. So that's one cool thing I like to mention is that the entirety of a core roadmap is built. There's not any guys, we have to dump 50 grand to pay for blockchain. It's none of that bullshit, because it doesn't happen. I mean, the entirety of the team have taken about, 75-80% pay cut, completely on bare bones to make sure that the project survives, even though, some work, 12, 20 hours a day building this up, right? Now, at this current time, I believe personally, Austin, if you want me to be real, we're in a really good place. I mean, we went through a month and a half of complete negative sell pressure. We didn't really deplete our treasury too much. I mean, sometimes projects a month in, they're going broke and they're already starting to dump tokens. No, we're in a good place. I mean, even if the project, worst case scenario, we had no revenue coming in, we could definitely sustain rewards for a year or so, based on wallet sizes and people and percentages. I'd obviously have to have SHIB to confirm, but this is where it gets exciting, right? Because Austin, if I'm honest, you've caught us where we finally hit point of opportunity, right? So we're at that stage where we've finally got our first pump. So if people do sell down now, yes, the price goes down, but it feeds the protocol, right? And I don't want to, bullshit people into say how it feeds the protocol, sales are good. Obviously, sales are annoying. I'm not stupid, but what they do is they feed different aspects, the liquidity. So the next time it does go up, it's stronger. Now that's one thing I said before is that now we finally had that run. I don't think people are going to sit there now and go, I'm not going to buy PTX because all it does is go down. The sentiment sort of changes, right? Once people finally see that PTX can go up, not financial advice, I feel like that will change sort of community sentiment in regards to quote unquote buying the dip or feeling like they can be a part of PTX at a lot less risk because the price isn't just dipping, which is great. But overall, Austin, I think we actually do hold a very unique model. We're going to be the first, quote unquote, auto compounding protocol that will offer extensions of rewards with revenue trade systems coming from external revenue sources, i.e., trading bots, i.e., algo investments, and also the first implement an ecosystem where it's self-efficient. So one thing I've got to mention is to upgrade your X shares, you'll have to use EPTX. And obviously, over time, the percent of EPTX you earn will decrease. Now, in the new vaults we're introducing, we're going to be lowering the PTX earned aspect overall completely. You will still be able to earn your 1.77%. There'll be more information coming on that. And obviously, that's where we're going to introduce the PUSD rewards. So people are sort of earning anyway. So you don't, even though your PTX is locked, you can still, if you've got $10,000 in, you can still earn $50 a day, which you can withdraw weekly, So we don't want to lock people in and say, hey, you're locked in, you don't get to touch anything for a year. There's no point in that. People aren't going to be engaged. No one's going to care. And we can obviously stimulate the entire ecosystem by doing that.
Gotcha. So, because one thing that I was sharing in the main chat is the fact that I see a lot of projects, right? They have a really good idea and model, but I've noticed a really common trend that
Hello, Austin. I don't know if it's my internet or if Austin's cutting out for me.
It's not you, it's him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Clark,
Austin, I think you're cutting out.
you cut.
can you hear me now?
You're still a bit robotic. It's getting a bit better, but you definitely, your connection has taken a tumble there.
I think it's because he's driving.
Yeah, I think so. But I don't want to answer just in case he can't hear me. So it's fine. We'll wait for him. Not a problem, Austin. You take your time. I know you said you're traveling. But yeah, so I think I kind of got what he was saying. Sort of all these projects, they have these big ideas. What makes you sort of think that yours will work? Now, one reason, and a very short and sweet answer, if I'm completely honest with you, is we're not rushing into shit just for the sake of it. Now, I think that's a very important aspect where projects die because they do absolutely zero market research and just do it to shut the community up. Everything we've done, there's a logical reason behind it. I understand sometimes we could have done more, we could have done better. I'm not going to sit here and say because the price is up, we've done amazing. I'm not going to say that at all. But I can say is 9 times out of 10, everything we do is calculated. You know, certain times there's no point in pushing marketing. There's no point in paying, thousands and thousands of dollars for XYZ reason when there's no need to. If there's issues that need to be fixed, such as the initial contract needed to be repaired so we can upgraded, sorry, so we can list on CoinGecko and CMC, then we're going to do that. Now, the reason why I think we're going to be, in the long term, strive compared to other projects is due to experience. Now, I don't say that to be cocky, but what I do say is that we've got a really good level-headed CEO. Someone who's not going to sit there and false promise you the world. Someone who's going to sit there and actually build you a product. And I'm talking about Shib here. Now, I think Shib is an excellent person, an excellent leader. I mean, there's a lot of times where Shib has done, outstanding work. And I think Shib really helps the entirety of the team not panic. I think one major downfall of projects is that panic. Now, we saw it recently with Horde, right? Is that you're going to, no matter how much you sugarcoat shit, if you tell everyone we're implementing a crazy tax and you can't claim your rewards, people are going to lose their shit. So it's just best to be honest with people, frank, and say, look, this is what we need to do. You don't need to panic, but we're going to do this. But when you start sugarcoating things and letting your emotions get the better of you, that's when projects really start to have a negative effect. Now, we can see that point from... There was one comment the founder, and this is nothing against Horde, I'm just using it as an example. Don't cry if you're invested. I wish them the best, but I'm just using an example here. So Horde went through a sort of episode of a couple of days ago where the LMS was getting drained. They had to implement emergency taxes, but they sugarcoated it, right? So they made the announcement sound bullish when it really wasn't bullish. Now, the community didn't take that well. Now, when the community didn't take that well, instead of taking constructive feedback and listening to the community, they started muting and banning people. And I saw that with my own 2 eyes, so I'm not lying. If you don't believe me, check out yourself, send a sad emoji, or question one of the founders, and they'll ban you. And I've sort of just sit there and was like, look, this is completely different to what we do, and now I'm seeing it firsthand. These projects, they think, and major downfall that these projects will have is they don't listen. They think they know what they're doing. We saw it with LC. We saw it with, many projects. But a lot of projects just sit there and think, I know what I'm doing. This is what we're doing. We're not going to listen to anyone else. Now, essentially, that's why I think we're different. But Austin, he's typed. Austin, just let me know if you can hear me. Just type in chat. And say, yeah, I know I've seen the message. Yeah, I'm just saying, Austin, if you can hear me before I answer. Essentially, why not use revenue distribution?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Why not use revenue distribution with BUSD rather than going through the complication of a native reward token that will have constant sell pressure to realize rewards? Because the way that the token is built, Austin, is that even on buys or sells, that small tax makes the price always, well, I'm not going to say always because there's no guarantee, appreciate. So it doesn't matter if there's a buy or sell, there'll be a 0.75% tax per transaction, which is very, very minimal. And this will tie in with the entirety of the ecosystem, whether we bring it to centralized exchanges in the future, use it for extra marketing, use it for further awards. The reason why we wouldn't want to use BUSD for that is that's like saying to, and this is very far-fetched, but that's like saying to, Binance and BNB, why don't you just use USDT? Because the way I see it, Austin, if I'm completely honest with you, the ecosystem that we're building, introducing the NFT systems, the lottery systems, and if a mod can, because I know a mod's probably got it on hand, if someone could just drop that ecosystem picture, the one that we tweet all the time, the purple one that Wox made, if you could drop that for Austin, just so we can have a little look, so we can maybe understand the ecosystem a little bit better. But what we don't want to do is, Austin, is that if we can do something and it's not difficult to implement and it's not going to hurt the token, then we're going to do it. I mean, there'll be a simple button in the D app to change your rewards. There'll be a simple button in the D app to sell PUSD and convert it to BUSD and vice versa, right? So it's not crazy. It's not something that's dramatically going to affect the token, but in the long run, for the entirety of the ecosystem, it's something that's going to benefit the ecosystem, right? Something that's going to, if we decide in the future, if PTX takes off and we've got our own stable coin and the ecosystem's working for itself, then we don't have to rely on BUSD. If we move on to our own chain, or, you never know what the future holds, but there's no need for us to rely on BUSD when we can have PUSD, which is backed 100% by BUSD, and also be able to offer an increasing floor price, which would be really, really nice. If an early investor and you're holding PUSD and it starts at $1, and you go, look, I don't need to sell this, I'm good, I'm just going to hold it for the year, and you're earning your rewards, and then by the end of the year, PETX is now $1.23. And you've earned an extra 23% just for holding the PUSD over the year. So that's why we just always wanted to bring our own ecosystem. It's very easy to do. We've seen the history, other projects have it, and especially as well, we're not 100% sure, but if we do implement the DEX, we've obviously got our own stablecoin for liquidity, which will be great as well. But yeah, that's the short kind of answer. Austin, if you got any questions, I know you got bad signal, feel free to drop in the AMA chat, and we can go from there. And I'm more than happy to answer anything you've got, Austin. But yeah, no, I do think we're quite unique compared to other rebase tokens. I say one major aspect, and I think a lot of people would back me up on this, is we actually listen to you guys. I'd like to say we take real care in listening to everything you guys say, or try our best. I mean, sometimes I don't tell him, but I mute Ari, right? I mute Ari. He doesn't know I mute him, but sometimes he talks and no one hears him. But I'm joking. The rest of the community, you guys, you're all great. Everyone's been an extreme help. I can see they're talking in Lab Rats right now. Austin, I know you don't have to, but the boys have asked me if I could add you to Lab Rats. It's just a chat where people, generate ideas and talk. I'm going to add you to it. You don't need to feel obliged to do anything, but I'm just going to add you in there just because the boys and the girls wanted you to sort of see what's going on in that aspect, right? So you're added. Feel free to scroll down and sort of find the lab chat. It's where all the boys and the girls generate ideas for the protocol, and where the devs and the team sort of one-on-one with these guys, right? Yes, someone just said in the lab rat chat, giving people the choice to earn PUSD or BUSD equivalent will offset sales. Yes, 100%. Now, if someone's decided to lock Essenix, I don't know if I pronounced your name right, I'll bring you up as soon as I've answered this question. I'll actually bring you on stage now. Once I've answered this question, feel free to unmute your mic. So yes, introducing PUSD and locked vaults will 100% stop sales. If people can go, hey, look, you know what? I actually like this project. I'm not going to sell. I might as well just earn PUSD rewards and let my PTX compound over time. They've got that option. You don't have to. You don't have to lock anything. But you've got that option. And I feel like once people start seeing that supply is out of circulation, it brings a sort of sentiment. Once it's the same sort of sentiment that happens when buys happen, right? People start getting a bit bullish. They get, the tide changes. So I think the same sort of sentiment works with, positive buy pressure and, locked circulating supply, and, people go, okay, the top whale was locked up. They want to get them PUSD rewards. If they're doing it, then it must be worth it. Now, a lot more information will come that will sort of make sense in regards to the vaults and whatnot. But yeah, it's most definitely is a way for people to earn rewards and not have to sell their PTX, because essentially that's obviously a problem once you get further down the line. So if we can implement a way that people can earn PTX, not cause negative sell pressure, and that's exactly what we're going to implement. So yeah, we're looking forward to the vaults. I think the vaults will be a great implementation. I'm based on my sort of beliefs. I think, I've got a nice bag. I'm not gonna sell my bag, but the thought of being able to earn PUSD in a vault sounds delicious to me. And yeah, it makes me excited to hear that that's a possibility. It's coming, because my bag is building up now. Sitting at a healthy amount, and if we're introducing some sort of PUSD rewards on that, I know just me holding my bag and locking it up, I'm gonna earn a base amount of dollars anyway. So you get to get on that passive income train, which is really, really nice. So yeah. And also, Austin, another answer to your question. I know you may have stepped down. Let me see. Yeah, I think Austin's disconnected, which is a shame. It was nice. Hey, we had Austin Clark in the AMA today, which is great, and that is definitely going in the title of the AMA. Hey, free marketing. No, I'm just joking.
He was asking some really good questions actually in main chat. One of the things I said to him is, why have this token? Why have that token? Is people can interact with the ecosystem as much as they want to. You don't have to interact with this part. Maybe you want to interact with that
That's
part.
clown style. I thought it was Adam. Adam, I thought that was you.
No, it's clown.
It's clown style. Oh my god. Oh my god, I thought it was Adam. Essentix, I'm trying to bring you up on stage. Sorry, clown style. I'm trying to bring you up on stage. It won't let me bring you up. I don't know if you're already up and it's just glitching for me. But I'm gonna invite you to speak. Let me know if that worked. But yeah, sorry, clown style. Continue. Apologies, my man.
No, that's fine, mate. That's fine. So yeah, I kind of went over it in main chat. Like, you can interact with the ecosystem as much or as little as you want to. Like, I'm the sort of person who's going to buy the NFT or, get an NFT. I'm going to vault all the tokens. I'll get PUSD. Whereas my missus is just going to hold the token. Maybe she'll put it in the vault for a month. But if someone wanted to, really, they could come in and just buy PUSD directly. And they would still benefit from the rest of the ecosystem that feeds into that PUSD.
Of course, and that's the best part. And that's one point I was trying to make to Austin. Maybe I could have got it a bit clear. Got it across a bit more clear. Sorry, is that yes, the ecosystem, whether you notice it or not, it benefits each other in every aspect. So everything that we're implementing, it just benefits. Any way to earn stables is grand, of course. Forever known, completely gets it. Any way to earn stables is the way forward, right? So yeah, guys, if you've got any questions, Ari, I know you're on stage. You can ask some questions if you like, mate. I know you love them. Feel free to unmute and ask whatever you've got in your mind, mate. Or not. Ari is silent, guys. It's unforeseen. It's an unseen.
Maybe
Unseen thing.
you need
That
to
makes
unmute him.
Unmute him. He's on stage for me. He's not muted.
I know. I'm joking.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Oh, guys, yeah, if you're not aware, we're in this recorded AMA. Just to let you guys know who we've got on stage, we've got our lovely new moderator, OX Clown Style, the one who was just speaking, who I thought was Adam. We've got Lady Nat on the one and only Telegram Master on the stage. We've got our lead moderator, Adam, and we actually have Wox, who is our lead graphics designer. And this is probably the first time you guys have heard them in AMAs. So I thought I'd best introduce them. I was having some technical difficulty before it started, so apologies again, guys, for that AMA starting late. For some reason, I keep having really bad issues with my internet. I think it's because they know I'm moving house, so they're probably getting a bit annoyed at me or whatever's happening there. But guys, we're still open. I'm still happy to run this. I mean, we're an hour in. we've had some great question answered. Yeah, the price is doing well. I mean, even if we dip now, it's sort of expected. It happens. Price goes up, price goes down. I'm gonna be up until about 6 a.m. my time, maybe 7 a.m. That is about 2 or 3 hours. I mean, well, no, that's about 7 or 8 hours from now. The deals in the general announcements, if you haven't seen them, they're still live. They're still live. You're more than welcome to sort of do it. Oh, Ari's here. He disconnected. Ari, there we go. I brought him up on stage. You're more than welcome
So
to
there's a
take
cool
advantage.
question from Austin actually that we haven't answered.
Yes, tell me. Let's
So
go.
he said, essentially, why not use revenue distribution with BUSD rather than going through the complication of having a native reward token that will have
Oh, I did.
constant
I
sell
just
pressure?
answered that. I just answered that. Yeah, I did. I
Did
just
you?
answered that. Yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, no, I don't. I don't think I read it out
So I
properly.
don't
But yeah,
think Paul Dutton caught it. He was asking about it again.
yeah, I think a lot of people seem to be glitching out. No, we did. So I'll answer that sort of quickly, right? Just a sort of nutshell answer. It seems like a lot of people kind of missed it. So why not use BUSD? So it sort of ties into what you just said, Cloud Style, right? It's that if we can have something backed by something and it can increase in price and you can invest in it and still being part of the ecosystem without if you just want to invest in stables, right, you can, if that's your thing. If you see, okay, the market's coming, there's a dip coming, I'm using my incredible TA, I want to put something in stables, then that's an option. You've got that appreciating aspect, right? And the taxes aren't going to be high, they're going to be 0.75%, just to help that appreciation. There has to be that tax, but you're not going to notice it. I mean, it's $1 on $100. I mean, you pay more in taxes on BUSD, on centralized exchanges, and it's another way for us to pair liquidity, right? So if we want to add another liquidity and bolster liquidity, we can use PUSD in that aspect, and then the funds stay in the ecosystem. So if we can create an ecosystem which is self-sufficient, then we're in a really, really good place. And that's sort of what we're leading up to, right? You can see today, even people, based on the price now, if we're looking at we're at a 2x in 24 hours, right? The reason why that price went up is because people purchase PTX for these Xshares because they're excited about Xshares, but they're still willing to invest in PTX to get said Xshares. Now, the same thing is going to happen when people will have their Xshares and want to upgrade them. So once we get to that point, people are going to be doing the same thing. They're going to be burning their PTX like no tomorrow, because essentially it doesn't make a difference to you if you sell it or burn it, right? As long as you get the end product that you want, it's fine. So people are going to be burning it like no tomorrow to upgrade to try and get to that high tier, because we will have more incentives, we will have more rewards for Xshares coming once we can guarantee that we could implement them with no issue. And another reason why we want to implement PUSD is that, if we can have something that's appreciating, and we can tie it into the ecosystem without it having to just be relying on someone else, then I don't see any problem with that. I think
That's
that's
the
a
thing,
really.
isn't it? Really, that's what differentiates it from BUSD is that it does appreciate in price every
Of
time
course,
someone trades or transfers it.
of
Whereas
course,
BUSD will always be pegged to the US dollar. PUSD will increase based on trades.
of
I mean,
course.
everyone's probably seen the XUSD, Surge, DeFi Mark, crazy mathematician, and it is basically just mathematics that makes it work. The
100%.
liquidity is held inside the contract, so pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's it. There's no external liquidity pools as well. It's all contract functions. But yeah, no, 100%. That it's a really good portion of the ecosystem, right? It's all about integrating everything without making it the core focus. And I think that's one thing we're doing really well, is not focusing too much on a certain aspect and neglecting another aspect, right? The reason why is the ecosystem is building. You can see by price action in the last 24 hours, we're not dead. We're here to stay. And if I'm completely honest with you guys, I'm extremely bullish on a personal level. Seeing what happened yesterday, seeing I just woke up and the price is up another, whatever it is, 10%. We're up 113% in the last 24 hours overall. Bear in mind that percent will vary as time goes on. I mean, there's nothing stopping us now. If we do luckily get on CMC tonight or tomorrow, we're in a perfect position. But guys, if there's no more questions, if you've got a question, feel free to ask it. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up. We've been going for about an hour or so now. So if you've got any more questions or anything you really, really want to know, I'll give you guys a couple of minutes just to ask them either in general chat or the AMA questions chat, and we'll go from there. But Adam, Wox, while you're up here on the stage, don't feel like you have to, but what's your thoughts on the recent sort of, not price action, but I'd say more the community sentiment? You know, how everyone's feeling, how everyone is. I saw you guys came out of nowhere and were like, Brian, what the hell have you done? And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I did.
100%. No, I love seeing it personally. I mean, seeing the community come together, having that chat fucking lit. Last night, I mean, it was quite a late night for me, but I think I stayed up till about 6 o'clock in the morning because it was just like so much hype and, it was good vibes really. So, I really
I
enjoyed
think
it.
that's the best part, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
all of a side of the price action, right? For us, it's seeing the community happy, right? Seeing you guys in better moods, actually bullish. People sitting there buying more because they're not scared that the price is just going to keep going down. But here we are, right? You're
100%.
gonna have people take profit. Bear in mind, guys, we're at a 2x in 24 hours. People will take profit. It's down to you to, shill, promote PTX, share the word, and if you want to take advantage of some of the offers we've got in the general announcements, you're more than welcome to. But guys, let me just double check AMA questions. Yes, Ari, once it's released, we'll have everything publicly known. So basically, it'll be within the contract, mate. So essentially, any funds will be stored inside the contract, so it will all be publicly known anyway. How do we capitalize on this PA with marketing, maybe AMAs? Yes, we definitely can do so. Shib's out of town at the minute, but I'm more than happy to host some by myself. You guys know I love to talk crap anyway, so we can most definitely schedule some AMAs. I'm very excited for CMC. Once we get them core foundations, I think we're good to go. But guys, I'd say that's it for today. A brilliant Alpha Monday, We have some really good sentiment in the community. We have some, bullish price action, up 2x in 24 hours, not even 24 hours. And we have some amazing deals going on in the general announcements and some competitions going on likewise. So guys, thank you very, very much for coming to the AMA. If you are interested in any of the deals, feel free to drop me a message or just go through it and then message me after. I'll be running them until I fall asleep, and then we'll sort of rearrange tomorrow and get some different deals going out, because we might as well keep them live. CMC, the tweet went out today, so hopefully we have an update on that soon, but I'll probably be up the remainder of the night just in case. So guys, thank you for coming to this AMA, and we'll be a main chat if you've got any questions. But thank you, take care.